All right, we are rolling, and it just made it inside the 8 o'clock minute. We didn't start right at 8 o'clock, but within the 60 seconds that counts as 8 o'clock. Here we are for another installment of KloobySnack time. We're being joined all the way from Melbourne, Australia. Sue is with us. Hey, Abby, how are you?
Good. Great.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and say right away, if anybody else like Sue wants to be like Sue and join us, the link is the same every week. tinyurl.com/KloobySnack, and then whatever week of the year it is. And we're in KloobySnack 44, week 44. The only thing I really don't like about that is like, oh my God, we only have like tonight and 8 more snacks left in the year and in the book and in the project. We're going to have to write volume 2, Abby. What do you think about that?
We do.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get it done by January 1st, so we can give ourselves some grace on that. But we are here rocking through KloobySnacks, and by now everybody should know we've got 4 Baker's Dozens. I'm sorry. We started with loving flavored, then ego flavored, then discipline flavored, and now we are in integrity flavored, which is a nice little dotted through line to my brand, the Integrity Game, the 10-point model that's changing the world. Let's see, there's Charlie there too from South Africa. So yeah, we are entirely international tonight. So Abby, first of all, let me ask, what kind of a week did you have? How was your week?
Sorry, it's very distracting in here.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Charlie.
Hi. I just took my earring out. I had a really good week. It was Halloween, so that was really fun. Yeah, it's busy. I have a bunch of stuff coming up this week to do, so I need to focus on that. I just found out that I'm going to go home for Thanksgiving, so that's exciting.
I know we got to keep it a secret around here for
But, I'm excited to go home because I was not planning on it, but I was like, after like parents' weekend, I was like, I really miss my family and I want to see my dogs and my brothers, and I don't know, like walk into my house and like smell my house. Like I miss that, and I miss driving, and I miss the sun. It's really cold here now. It's freezing. It was like 30 something degrees today, and I was like, this is.
So it's the stressful part of the semester, the midterms, and the heaviness, and getting a lot of project stuff done before the holidays hit, but also parents' weekend. You actually got to see and hug Mom and I, and so now there's an unforeseen wave of homesickness crashing on Abby's beach. Yeah.
So I'm excited to go home. But
man,
not to say I don't love it here, but I am excited to go home for a little bit.
Well, it's a special time of year. Like since I've been back teaching, this is the 3rd fall that I've been back on campus teaching first-year freshmen. And last year, the year before, I really, I have to be in class on the Monday of Thanksgiving, but I try to orchestrate and organize my class such that everybody's got everything wrapped up. And then, even though I have got to go beyond class, I tell them, you want to go home. You want as much time with your families. You should be getting homesick right now. Reconnecting with your families, even after only 2 months away, is a trip. I remember what it was like for me when I would go home during Thanksgiving, and even I would go home every other weekend and deliver pizzas. But after a while, things just seemed different. I felt like a different version of myself, and I started to relate to them differently. And there was more depthful hugs, and you're in that phase now. So it's nice that you got a glimpse of it, and I'm looking forward to you being here and stepping back and just watching you, take it all in. And anyway, here we are, KloobySnack time, number 44. What do you say we do a review of the snacks?
Let's go ahead.
All right. So the snacks that we've covered in the integrity flavored section, we started with number 40, behavior is the evidence of our integrity. And then number 41, honesty is a strategy, a lie is a tactic. Then number 42 is like just so core to the whole section and like everything that I do professionally. Accountability will always feel like an attack when we are not ready to be 100% responsible for our own behavior. That's a function of ego defense, which we talked about. One of the 5 things to keep us from thinking critically, to keep us from listening, to keep us from being objective, or to keep us, dare I say, from loving, is ego defense. It's hardwired into us, fight or flight response. It is our what we do with physical danger, but ego defense is what we do to informational or emotional danger, right? So it's automatic. We can't get rid of it, and that's one of the reasons. Like, it's not our fault. It's not like we're not really ready to be 100% responsible. It's just an automatic fight or flight response to the level of responsibility that the world is holding us accountable to. It's just really, really, really great snack. And then last week we talked about number 43. We are never guilty of ignorance, but we are always guilty when willfully ignorant. Now, Are you ready to get into number 44, Abby?
Yes, I am.
All right, drum roll, please. I'll put it up on the screen and then I'll screen share so you can do the reading. This is all right. Where is KloobySnack number 44? And here it is. Critical thinking creates ideas. Strategic thinking makes them work. Abby, take it away.
This KloobySnack originally read, critical thinking creates decisions, just strategic thinking makes them work. But the word decisions felt off to me. I asked my dad if we could replace it with ideas, and now here we are. Creating ideas isn't difficult, but executing them requires strategic thinking. It involves questioning what you can offer to achieve something, what other help you might need to achieve them, and what the fastest and most efficient way to accomplish that idea is. In the creation of this book, we used critical thinking. My dad and I had to think critically about what the overall premise of the book was, ranging from my involvement to the KloobySnacks we wanted to include. However, to get the book done, we needed to think strategically. With so little time and so much to write, we had to plan how we would get all of the parts moving and completed. Designating time to work, formatting the Google Doc in the most efficient way, and prioritizing the book were all methods essential to the completion of the book. Strategic thinking turned this book from an idea into physical evidence of our relationship, integrity, brilliance that we can hold in our hands.
All right. So I'm smiling now because I think that, I want to provoke the most honesty I can get from you. Your response to this snack, what you wrote, and now looking back on it, how do you feel about what you wrote? Would you write the same thing if you were writing it again this year or these days or this week? What do you got? What's your reaction to? I mean, I'm sure this is the first time you've looked at what you wrote since you wrote it last year.
I think yes, this girl was right and true. I also think that there is a million things that I could have written about that are more fitting or better or deeper or more thought-provoking. But I think that maybe I'm not sure, maybe at the time I didn't have anything that came to mind, because a lot of these, it was when I write about something anecdotal, it kind of just I read the snack or I hear the snack and it immediately comes to me. But this was one of the ones that I guess didn't. So I think now I'm not sure exactly what I would write about, but I'm assuming there would be something more storytelling, anecdotal, rather than just writing about the book. Not that that's bad, but I'm just thinking for the time I probably didn't have much that came to mind. So I think now if I were to write, it would be different. Not that I disagree with what I did write, but I think
yeah,
I would have more examples now.
Yeah, that it's just basically for me, it's I would hope if I would imagine what I heard in my head when I asked you the question, what I thought you might say is, I could do better than that. Right. That's essentially, I could do better than that. I like the way you put it though. Not I disagree with what I wrote, but there's the honesty, right? And so there was
agree.
Yeah, it was a reflection of oh man, the reality of how much work there was to get done. And I'll tell you, a good paper is better than a done paper is a good paper. Right. Mm-hmm. And so in other words, for me, it's always just get it done, get it out there. If it falls short, or if there's any mistakes, or if we get feedback from the marketplace, we can always improve it. We can go into the doc, change it, and re-upload a new document on Amazon. Right. So we can come up with a new and improved version if we ever. That's one of the beautiful things about this project is we can keep the same snacks and write brand new entries. Mm-hmm. To them in terms of responses, and then republish a different version of the book. Or, of course, what I'm really excited about is coming up with 53 through 104, right? The true KloobySnacks Volume 2. But let's honor the time that Sue and Charlie have taken to join us tonight, or in the morning, as is the case for each of them in South Africa and Australia. Ladies first. Sue, how are you? Welcome to KloobySnack time. No crumbs. Are you eating it up? What do you got?
Thank you. It's good to be here. And I was thinking 2 weeks in a row, my goodness.
Yeah.
It's been good to join you. Abby, you mentioned that there might be some examples that come to mind. Is there something that sort of jumps out at the moment that you'd talk to?
I think one. Wait, I don't know how to word this. But we're doing there's a lot of conversation that me and my parents are having right now with how much responsibility each of us are gonna take with my paying for my school. And I think that's something where it's yes, where it involves critical thinking, but also being like strategic with like what we do. So that's like one big thing right now that like I was never like I never had to experience like when I wrote this like a year ago. Like I like had my income, but I never really had to think about like how to necessarily like spend it or what to do or how to save or like looking ahead in the future, because it was just like, oh, I have this money now, so I'm just gonna go to the mall, or I can get Starbucks, or like you know what I mean. But with this, it's like it's bigger than just my shopping addiction and my like fun drinks that I like to get, like and that's like new for me. And I think that I would want to write about that if I was writing about it now. One, to kind of help like make like coherence of my thoughts, but also because like that is like something new that I'm like learning now, with like how to be financially responsible, how to like look at money as like something long term rather than like I have this now, I got this now, so I'm gonna go spend this right now. Like what are things I want to buy? So that's like one thing where it's like strategic thinking in a way that I've never needed to, like not needed to, but I haven't had like I've never had to do that before. So that would definitely be up there if I had to write that right this second. That would be that.
So do you think that's coming because your lens of
Hey, we got a fur baby.
Stay. Yes, this is Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Stay.
The other Charlie.
The fur baby Charlie. So Abby, do you think this is shifting partly because you're getting exposed now to an environment where your time frame and your perspective is shifting further out, and you're broadening your perspective as well?
I think that's definitely it. And I think also before I didn't really like have like I understood like obviously you have to like pay for school and this, and there's like things to pay, and like you have to pay off credit cards and make sure whatever. And like I knew this existed, but I'd never like been in it. And like the day I turned 18, got my credit card, and now I'm like, wait, I'm like going in my app and I'm like, okay, wait, I have to like pay this off and do all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, like this money that I have is just for like automatically spending. It's just I need to delegate to certain things, which is new for me. And also because of the environment I'm in, where like there's so much talk about like, first of all, like all these people that are so into investing and all this stuff, and they're talking about all this stuff that I don't understand. I'm like, this is a real thing. And then also just being at school, and like understand like every class I go to, like I'm paying like this much for, and I need to make sure I get this done, and all this stuff that I was not ever exposed to before. And I am happy that I like get to like be challenged by this and like get to be like, okay, like what am I going to like do to like pay for this and whatever. And I'm happy that like I get to work with my parents to do that, because even though like obviously I don't know what kid wants to like pay for their school, but I think it is fun, and I am like privileged to be able to do so. So it's like I want to be able to take advantage of that. But it's all new for me. But yeah, it involves my strategic and critical thinking of me and my dad. So it's a group effort, another project of ours. So
I think that's awesome. Yeah, good on you.
Yeah. Hey, Charlie, are you still with us? Do you have any comments or questions regarding KloobySnack number 44? Critical thinking creates ideas. Strategic thinking makes them work. We're eating it up tonight. Charlie can't hear you. I think you unmuted, but there you go.
Still here, Coach Jeff. I don't know if you can hear me clearly, but you guys are breaking. The connection is very bad.
We can hear you okay. If you just want to listen in, that's fine also. I'm not experiencing a bad connection on my end, but we could hear you just fine, Charlie. We're always glad that you're here. Put a smile on my face every week. It's great to see you. We are in the fourth Baker's Dozen, integrity flavored, and number 44. In how quickly has it all gone by? Abby, when Sue asked you to identify one or two of the anecdotes that you might cite, I didn't know what you'd be thinking about, but I was, I'm proud that the financial responsibility piece, the financial literacy piece has come to mind. I'm glad, I enjoy listening to the way you describe it, and your curiosity and embracing it, excited for it as a challenge, and recognizing the learning curve of it all. And like, oh, well, it was like this in high school when I had no adult responsibilities, but now I have to see money through adult lenses. And I'm glad that you're not off-put by the hand will hold the hand holding we'll be doing to try to learn those skills together. And
Yeah.
at some point you're going to learn more than Mom and I knew. At some point you're going to outgrow us when it comes to financial literacy and investing and wealth building and all of that. That's the plan. But it starts with learning what we do know, avoiding our mistakes, and then shining like the brilliant young person that you are. So let's go ahead and get into it. But I was thinking, the other thing too, by the way, one of the things I thought of was like critical thinking and strategic thinking, right? Like your whole college application process, the whole process that got you to Fordham is neat anecdotally, because you had to think critically about whether or not you would even like Fordham, or what is Fordham, instead of just like, Fordham, what's that? I don't know what that is. No. Well, critical thinking is, tell me more. What could that be like? Instead, so in one word, critical thinking is asking questions. So instead of giving into comfort zone or giving into ego defense or self-interest or stereotyping or frozen evaluations, oh, that school is dumb, that won't work. No, tell me what could work about that. What, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think your whole college application process, your whole journey to Fordham, I think you'd be able to write about now that in a way that you couldn't then last year.
I think there's like two aspects to that. I think one of which is like I really didn't know where I wanted to go. Like I like when I was younger, I was like, oh, I'm going to go to NYU and whatever. It has like a 12% acceptance rate. I didn't know that until a lot more recently. But so like thinking of where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do and what I was good at, because there's a lot of kids where I was in my high school that were like, they knew exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to do this. They were taking all these classes so they could do this. And then they were taking these, they were dual enrolled, you know what I mean? And I knew what I was good at. And I knew what I had fun doing, but I didn't really know what that meant for me. I knew I loved telling stories on paper and on stage. I didn't know that like what I could do with that, or if that would even take me anywhere. So one, like thinking about what I wanted to do, like critically thinking of like, okay, what am I interested in? Where do I want to live? Where do I want to be? Like, where am I going to find people that I actually enjoy being around and motivate me? So there's that, but then also like where do I want to go? Like the critical thinking part, but then also how do I get there strategically? With all of my college jobs being like for this school, because for Fordham, a big part of it was they were accepting people who seemed fitting to be in New York and to be at this like school, because it's so unique. It's not a typical college campus, and it's not NYU where there's no campus. It's a weird in between. So I was thinking about how am I, like, what essay can I write that shows off all these traits of me and shows off all these things I've accomplished, but also proves that like I'm good for this school. And that same thing with all of my schools. What proves that I would be good for Syracuse if they're very prestigious journalism program, like all of that. So that would also tie into that too, to add on to your point.
Yeah, and I don't know how much you want to elaborate on it right now, but I think it's also a neat anecdote, like, what came to my mind, not knowing how you would answer Sue's question, of adapting to having a roommate for the first time. Like you've never had to share a room in your life other than like Girl Scout things or sleepovers or what have you. But so now, it's not just sharing a room, even if, let's just say, everything is perfect about your roommate, not yours, but one's, right? Let's say everything's perfect about one's roommate. Sharing a room, making compromises, adapting to another human being is just oodles of challenge that requires critical and strategic thinking on space and coordinating schedules and privacy issues and etc. Right? So I think that that's another thing that came to mind, is just adapting to a roommate. And it was fun. I was talking to AJ's teammate Cheek, who's renting out a room from us, right? And he was sitting there. And he bought some bananas. I'm like, hey, those are your bananas, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, hey, I respect your food. You respect our food. It's like, like I was explaining to him, like, hey, we're not a host family where we're responsible for all your meals. We're like landlords, right? So the rental agreement, we cover utilities and you get the room, but we didn't write in part of that rent goes to food, right? So when he buys his food, I don't want me or Brody or anybody in our house eating his food, because that's his food and whatever budget he's on. And at the same thing, I've had conversations with Mom that it's not our responsibility to feed him. It's not in our weekly budget to come up with food for another mouth. And so like, hey, if we buy food and food's going bad, let's just be human beings and invite each other, like not throw it away. Hey, those bananas only have another day or two, so feel free to have at it. Or, hey, there's 3 more peaches in the batch and have at it. Or, and so he bought these bananas, these strawberries. He's gone for the weekend. Anyway, so it came up how I used to I put a lot of effort before AJ went away to the dorms. And, you know, like with you guys, Abby, I put a lot of effort into being like, clean up after yourselves. You got to be a good roommate. You're, you know, here when you're with family, you can whatever. But when you move out and now you're dealing with and cohabitating with a different person with different habits and patterns and idiosyncrasies and so forth, you don't want to be the problem.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to be the one that's leaving a mess, being rude, being thoughtless about shared space. You don't want to be that person. And so we tried to teach you that. And I remember one time I was telling Cheek the story about AJ and I were on a trip in Santa Barbara. He was playing baseball that weekend and we were standing in line to get a burrito. And after all this, yeah, dad, whatever, when I'm going, clean up after yourself, clean up after yourself, clean up after yourself, you're not going to be the bad roommate. We were standing in line in front and behind these two guys in the whole conversation while we were like in a 20-minute line for these burritos, like famous place in Santa Barbara. The guy was just going, oh, my roommate this, my roommate that, I can't. And we just heard like 17 stories about how awful this one particular person's roommate is and how he's in administrative petitions and paperwork to try to get reassigned to a new room. And then, you know, I get emails from my students these days like, oh, hey, listen, I have to move home for a week because my roommate is a nightmare. And, you know, I don't know how this is going to affect my semester. I mean, it's a thing. Like, it is a big thing. And I don't know what kind of stories and anecdotes you're having all throughout your dorms and other pairings and other this or that. But talk about critical thinking and strategic thinking to make a roommate situation work. You don't have to comment on that if you don't want to, but would you?
Yeah, I think as we can, I think hold on. I think the biggest thing is really like picking your battles wisely and like that. I think that's a big thing because it's not something where it's like a typical friendship where it's like you can get mad and how like fully explode on each other, then just like avoid each other for a few days and then come back. It's like if I argue with this girl, I'm still going to wake up and we're still going to be together. There's a lot of picking your battles wisely and also understanding like trying to get an understanding of what if there is something and it's like, okay, I do want to talk about this. One, will this get through to her at all? Or two, how do I approach this in a way that will like get through to her, not be like form an argument? Like, how do I get my point across and actually get it across to her? And if it's not going to happen, you pick your, you know what I mean? Pick your battle, picking your battles wisely. I think that's a big thing. Like I'm currently sitting in the lounge after like 24 hours in advance being like, hey, like I can get the room tomorrow. Not even kick her out. I can do my call from the room tomorrow. And then 5 minutes before the call, I can't do the call in the room. So I'm in the lounge. But just picking your battles wisely, that's a big thing I've learned and understanding like what is worth it, what like and like
is the juice worth the squeeze?
Yeah, what do I have the time and energy for? What, like, you know what I mean? So that's a big one. Because I think there's been many times where I'm very quick to like be like, I don't know what the word, this is all I can think of, like with somebody, and when I don't like something, like call it out. And because when I get bothered by something, it's not something that I want to just like contain and like think about. Like I want to either solve it or whatnot. Yeah. So I think like
speed of processing. Let's handle this. Yeah.
For me, and there's a lot of just like, okay. Now there's a lot of that.
Take a big breath.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I like hearing you say that. Pick your battles wisely, because that comes from grandma. You know, like my mom said, Jeff, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Like, well, and I always used to say, like, wait a second, that's a faulty question. Like, I can be both, damn it. And I didn't realize that what she's really saying is choose your battles wisely. Is the juice worth the squeeze? And this is something I'm dealing with now in my own life. Like, I was telling Mom last night that I think I'm getting better at censoring myself. Like, I don't have to take action on everything that I observe to be not the way I want it to be. I don't have to take action on all of it. Not all of it is my responsibility, or there's not enough time in the day to make everything the way I want it to be. There's plenty of time in the day to have wonder about how else things can be. But, you know, even earlier this week, I saw an email that came to me, and normally I'd want to address every line and you do a point and counterpoint argument every line. And instead of doing it, I just said, hey, here's my link. Schedule a Zoom if you want to talk about this further. And I just let it sit rather than addressing it, you know, and that's like that's a different version of me. So I just want to let you know that even like you're wise, you're wise beyond your years. And I think this is like the second week in a row, or you know, like, hey, this realization that you're having, it's not a one and done. You're going to keep having different layers and iterations of these realizations of pick your battles wisely. Is the juice worth the squeeze? What is my jurisdiction? How much do I care? Do I need to have my way here? Can I let it be another way? How much energy time do I have? What's the strategic play here? And those are all the questions, which is critical thinking. That's what critical thinking is asking questions rather than just giving in to instinct reactions and responses. It's taking the time to lengthen our fuse, ask some good questions, make better decisions. Now, there we are, full circle. You know, the decisions word that threw you off last year. I wonder if now this year you might, okay, yeah, no, I see why decisions make sense. No, I'm teasing. There's a couple of snacks, Sue. There's a couple of KloobySnacks where my original wording, Abby was like, I don't know. I think it should be this. And I was just like picking my battles. I was picking my battles wisely. I was like, okay, I'm not fighting you on this one because I want to get the whole project done. So I'm not fighting on this because I want to keep the whole thing moving. And that included not pressing you. Like, come on, Abby, you can write better than that. Come on, Abby, you're just getting this done. You're mailing it in. There's a couple of snacks that are clearly like that, but I didn't feel the need to say anything back then because I'll take it. A good paper is a done paper. A good book is a done book. I wasn't the what was the premium? It wasn't holding you accountable to your best writing on every snack. It was making sure we got this project done together. Yeah. That was that was the most important thing. Yeah.
I think like going into it, going into the project, I wasn't looking at it like that. My friends just walked by. Just looking at Sam. I wasn't looking at it like that. I was like, everything I write, like there's some sort of expectation that he's holding for me. And like when I want to meet that, I want to exceed that for like me and for you, like for, you know what I mean? But then gradually I realized it was like, not like, oh, I can be lazy, but it's like, I don't need to like meet some huge standard like that. I didn't need to like put that false pressure on myself, which made things easier at the time. And then that's what I was all of a sudden able to like just like put these out because I wasn't like being like, okay, with every single line, what am I gonna write? Like how, like, you know what I mean? I wasn't thinking so much about that, which made it like easier to write. To add on to that, and then also, side note, we were talking. I don't remember what it was, but what reminded me of this. Side note, end note, footnote, I don't know. I'm like not upset, but that like the with the timing of the book, because I wish like now we're at the like almost at the end, and like I'm having so much like reflection because now like it's like all of the stuff I wrote was like a year ago, and like now I'm in college and I was only got here 2 months ago, but now I'm like getting into all this stuff and reading all my stuff from a year ago, and I'm being like, this is so different. Like, and now I can be like, this is how I do it now, or these are the different things that I'm experiencing now.
You'd be more worldly. You'd be more cosmopolitan now.
And it's so exciting and amazing, and I am having fun like reading this. Like even when I don't like my writing, I'm like, oh, like interesting that I only have one earring. This is really distracting. Now we're almost. I ripped my earring out in the beginning of the thing, but now we're at the end, and I'm like, wait, we're at 44, and I'm like. I was looking forward to like doing more reflections and reading my stuff and being like, this is weird, or like, wow, I had no clue what I was talking about then, and I probably don't now, but I like know a little more. So it's fun.
Well, to your point there, we're gonna be. There's a plan. It's not an urgent plan, but there's a plan. The Integrity Game just launched a new website. The Integrity Game, and there's a space for the blog, and we can activate it, the KloobySnacks blog, and ultimately we could take every 100% of the book and create 52 different blog posts out of them, but create a way for people to comment, so that anybody could go to the blog, read the blog, and write their own thoughts, or you could write new thoughts or updated thoughts. And I think my vision is we could do a KloobySnacks blog and have like a Dear Abby section. You know what I mean? Like, Dear Klooby, but the kind of, it's just, anyway, I don't have it all formulated yet, but the point is, that's what I wanted to communicate to you last week. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Done is better than perfect. Don't worry, just draft it, just get it done. So at least we can edit, we can improve, we can always make it better down the road, but we never want perfection to be the enemy of completion.
Yeah.
Right. So here we are. Drum roll, please. But first of all, actually, before we get in there, I'm going to go ahead and say, I'll make it part of last call. Here we go. Last call for jokes, questions, limericks, haikus, riddles, comments, whatever, expressions of gratitude. But I've got the last call, right? Like the last call will be mine. And I'm promoting The Integrity Game 90-day challenge. We are sprinting to the end of our 90-day challenge. This is the 4th year in a row that we have gone through the Integrity Game week by week. We start on the first Wednesday after Labor Day, and that was September 3rd this year. And we do the opening week, and then the weeks 2 through 11 correspond to each of the 10 points in the Integrity Game model. So we're coming up on Accomplishments Week this week, and then next week, it'll be November 12th. That will be the last week, Giving and Service Week, and then we'll close out our 90-day challenge on the 19th. So this is the link, integritygame.com/allstar2025. The Zooms that I conduct, they are Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific, and I look for all-stars, subject matter experts that might be able to broaden or deepen our understandings of integrity and each of the 10 points on the model. And this Wednesday, we're talking about accumulation of accomplishment, right? Like often we're so busy trying to pursue what we haven't earned yet or what we haven't realized or become who we aren't. That we have to, the Integrity Game wants us to at least take 10% of the game to smell the roses, update the resume, update the LinkedIn profile, pat ourselves on the back, be honest about what we have in fact accomplished. Because next week, right, we look towards giving and service. And even though we still may want more for ourselves, we can't ignore, dismiss, or downplay what we've already achieved, because most of this world, a large percent of this world, probably 90% of this world would die to have what we have, right? So we don't want to get caught up in the I'm missing, I'm not, I haven't yet. Like we're all very accomplished individuals. We all have things to share with others that wish they could achieve what we in fact have achieved. So anyway, we're going to talk about accomplishments this week in the context of the Integrity Game, the 90-day challenge. The All-Star sessions are flowing. Sue, thank you for being an All-Star 4 years running now. Sue is with us for Word and Commitment Week this year. And it's kind of fun to like dot around at one point, only, 6 more years and you will have been a guest in every single week, Sue. And then the other thing too, and let me just take a moment to congratulate you. I'm going to screen share here. I want to congratulate you. I think I have it up. Let me see if I do. Give me 1 second. I want to congratulate Sue for, and if you want to talk about it for a second, please do, for your accomplishment at the health conference last week in Northern Australia. Yeah, in Darwin. Yeah, you want to talk about that for a second? I think I have.
Yeah, sure. Very honored to be sharing the Integrity Game framework with is around 50 senior healthcare leaders at the Australian College of Health Service Managers conference. So it was a great experience, lots of learning. And I'm glad that I was able to take a recording that I can work with and look at improving and growing.
Yeah, what is it? The ACHSM we can see right here if you're in the screen share. Yeah. What is that? That stands for what?
Australian College of Health Service Managers, but it's actually Asia Pacific. So there were people there from Hong Kong, Myanmar, Papua New Guinea, Singapore, Fiji. So all of those Southeast Asian countries as well.
Abby, can you see this? Playing the Integrity Game for leadership, resilience, and accountability in healthcare. And there's the little Integrity Game. There's Sue's picture, and there's little the workbooks for the Integrity Game, and you had about 50 people in attendance. Is that right? After like 80, I think, registered, and about 50 showed for your session.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. It's just it makes me proud to see the Integrity Game living and breathing around the world, and to not just the model itself that's being, but to see you grow through the model and really start to feel some real tangible ROI, return on the investment of all the time that you put into learning and studying with me and applying the game and working with the materials, and even the learning mistakes. And can't wait for the next one, because you're going to be so much better than in the next one. But that's my last call. The clicker. No. Sue, it's like, I have an extra clicker right here. I want to send it to you. Anyway, mobility is key.
I still can't find mine. I've been looking for mine and I can't find it.
All right, so there we are. So here we.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sue. I was just going to say, my last call is, Abby, I really appreciate your honesty and openness in how you've transformed from the time that you originally wrote the KloobySnacks, your reflections, and just what it's looking like for you now as you're journeying at Fordham, and the shift that you're seeing in your own perspective. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate you appreciating that, Sue. I will say I don't remember if I elaborated on it last week, but I can close my eyes and, the sandwich, the hug on the front end, and I was Waterworks. I knew it was going to be emotional when I first saw you, but what I didn't expect, Abby, was your hug on the back end, and squeezing me tight, say, "Dad, thank you," and you're so grateful for the opportunity that you have and how much your mom and I believe in you, and we'll take on whatever we need to take on to make it happen for you. And we're committed to teaching you everything that we possibly can to set you up for success. And you're soaking it all up. Like we're really, really, really proud of you, of course. And we have more to do. There's more learning, there's more hand holding, etc. But you're an adult now, and we're in a support position. We're not out in front of you. We're behind you, supporting you 100%. So there it is. There you have it. All right. Anybody else have anything else to say? Last call, comments, questions, anything before we dismiss for tonight?
No, I have an essay to write, so.
Okay. All right. Well, on behalf of the genius Abby Kloobak and my friends around the world, iconified tonight by Sue and Charlie, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this installment of KloobySnacks. No crumbs left behind. That's right. Next week, we're on to KloobySnack number 45 as we work our way through the integrity flavored section towards the end of the year. All right, everybody. Have a great night. I love you, Abby. Love you, Sue. Love you, Charlie. Good night, everyone.
Night.
Good night. See you.